Howdy kids, it's me Bob Harris, Senior Editor of FootballDiehards.com. It's week 5, time for the injury review, preview, update, overview, the thing we like to do every Saturday. Kind of set the plate, set the table, let you know what you need to know heading into Sunday's games and on through Monday. And we like to do these in chronological order. Remember, things change from the time I record this early Saturday afternoon, shortly after about 1 p.m. So check back. One place you can look is the late-breaking updates section. I'll have all the latest news headlines there. Also, go check your individual players on the staff rankings, and you'll find links to each player. Their ranking will usually reflect if something has gone awry for them. And so if somebody you go in and somebody who's normally a top 12 running back is suddenly down at the bottom, you know you need to click that link and see why. Also, check out Casey Joyner's injury-related sit-start. Great piece goes a little deeper into the injury report, looks at some of the defensive injuries that you might be able to leverage, some offensive line issues that might be concerns for you, along with the players I'm getting you up to speed on, which are the offensive skill players, the players you're playing. So the London game starts early, 9:30 a.m. kickoff Eastern time, so be ready for that. There is no Calvin Ridley or Russell Gage for the Falcons. The Jets have ruled out Tyler Kroft and Jeff Smith. Looks like everyone else will be good to go in those games, so just Calvin Ridley out. Didn't make the trip. Neither did Russell Gage. So there you have that one. So we'll move into the early afternoon kickoff window where Christie Mccaffrey's been listed as doubtful against the Eagles. Got on the field, tested his hamstring a little bit, worked on a limited basis daily. So maybe a return next week. Week 6 return seems reasonable unless they have a bye. But seems like he's close to making his way back. In the meantime, Chuba Hubbard will continue to get the start. Rodney Smith, Royce Freeman will chip in. Dalvin Cook listed as questionable. Same ankle injury. He was out 2 weeks ago, returned last week, didn't get a great workload. Don't know what kind of workload I would expect this week. It's a great matchup against Detroit. Alexander Madison will be standing by. But Cook did make it on the practice field Friday, so that's somewhat encouraging. On the other side of the ball, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinson, groin, hip, and knee, all listed as questionable. Hawkinson seems like the most worrisome one here to me. Finally got back on the practice field on a limited basis Friday, so that's encouraging. But Swift and Williams limited all week. Swift has been limited all along, and he's been playing just fine. And I would expect Williams to do the same. But check those status in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. As always, you'll find those on the website as well. We have the inactive list, and I always do updates in real time as these inactive announcements are made. For the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Green Bay Packers, Joe Mixon listed as questionable. Didn't practice all week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, did not. Got on the field Saturday morning, this morning, and apparently did enough to get in the mix. And so Tom Pelissero from NFL Network reports that he will be available to play in some capacity, barring some swelling or a bad response to today's uptick in work, right? So this is one you have to watch, and even if he makes it onto the field, the some capacity words worry me. So watch for that. Samaje Perine and Chris Evans would be next men up. Perine likely to get the bulk of that workload. T. Higgins is back in this game, by the way, off the injury report. Mike Thomas, the wide receiver, is listed as doubtful, unlikely to play, doesn't have a major role. Washington football team taking on New Orleans, a lot of issues. Antonio Gibson listed as questionable. Curtis Samuel listed as questionable. For Gibson, it's a shin injury. He says it's a stress fracture. He played through it last week. They seem like they're managing it in practice. That's probably why he got the questionable designation. He missed some time. Some teams are real sticklers about this. Don't want to get fined by the league for, not reporting properly. So anytime a player misses some time in practice, or they should be listed as questionable. And the teams like Baltimore and Washington adhere to that very carefully. Curtis Samuel seems a little iffier, but their receiving core is a mess. There's no Diami Brown, no Cam Sims, and no Logan Thomas. He's on IR with the hamstring injury. Brown and Sims ruled out as well, so Adam Humphries is in the mix. Maybe DeAndre Carter, the kick returner, returned a kick for a touchdown last week. Might see some time. We'll see what Samuel can do. But both those guys questionable. You'll need to watch them in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. Expect Gibson to go. He played through this injury last week and played pretty well. Tennessee Titans are at Jacksonville. Julio Jones has been ruled out. Nick Westbrook-Ikini is questionable with a hamstring. Racey McMath placed on IR with a quadricep injury. And I've buried the lead here. A.J. Brown's off the injury report. Looks like he will be back playing at full go. So interesting that he made it back first. Remember when it happened? He was week to week, and Julio, they were kind of vague about and didn't seem that serious. Well, Brown is back. Julio is out. Derrick Henry's playing. That's good news. Of course, on the other side of the ball, no DJ Chark. He's done for the season, in case you missed it last Thursday. And there's something else going on there, the coach, but we'll not get into that. Teddy Bridgewater, Denver is at Pittsburgh. Teddy Bridgewater, we're waiting to hear word Saturday as I record this on final clearance. He has to meet with an independent neurologist and get final clearance, but he's listed as questionable. Seems likely to go. He worked fully Friday. His ability to pass the independent exam will be the deal maker here, and expect him to do that. He worked limited Thursday, full practice Friday. Those are signs that he's progressing nicely through the concussion protocol. So assuming there are no recurrence of symptoms or anything like that, he should be good to go. Watch the main page of the site, the late breaking update section. Check the staff rankings for more. If he doesn't play, Drew Lock will play. Wasn't good last week when he did play right after the big hit on Bridgewater. Melvin Gordon also listed as questionable with the lower leg issue. Last week it was the rib and lower leg. This week it's only the lower leg. My guess is he'll be available. Cortland Sutton added the injury report Friday as questionable. He twisted an ankle in practice Friday. That's never good, right? Friday injuries, not our favorite thing. So that's one to watch. Deontay Spencer also listed as questionable with a chest injury. Alberto Okwebunam, the tight end, has been ruled out with a hamstring injury. The other side of the ball, James Washington injured a groin in practice on Thursday. He's been ruled out. Everyone else is off the injury report. That's Big Ben. He's still hurt. It's hip and pec now. Chase Claypool, hamstring, missed the game. He is back off the injury report. Juju Smith-Schuster has rib issues. He's off the injury report. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Rob Gronkowski obviously ruled out. This will be a multi-week absence for him with the rib injuries. Gio Bernard is questionable. Outlook for him is optimistic. Seems like he'll be able to come back this week after missing last week with a knee injury. On the other side of the ball, Devonte Parker is now a true game-time decision. It seems like Will Fuller's already out, people. He's on IR. He's out like 3 weeks, so they could use Parker if Parker doesn't go. Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, maybe rise up the ranks a little bit. Gesicki playing well with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, so that's kind of noteworthy, right? He'd been horrible before. Now he's been pretty good the last 2 games. Should get at least one more game out of Brissett, so maybe that works in your favor if you're a Gesicki investor. Or Devontae Parker will be a game-time decision you want to watch. For the Houston Texans taking on New England, Rex Burkhead and Danny Amendola. Rex Burkhead ruled out, the former Patriot, going against his former team. Will not see them. Danny Amendola could or could not. He's listed as questionable. He's missed the last 2 games with a thigh injury. Look, you're not eager to play any Texan in this game other than Brandon Cooks, and I'm not like super eager to play him. On the other side of the ball, Nick Folk listed as questionable. Watch the late breaking update section or the staff rankings. If they make a roster move, that'll tell you that maybe something is up, but I would expect him to play. He missed out a kick, late in the game, and it's his plant leg that's hurt. Maybe that was an issue. Either way, you could probably find another kicker, people. Late afternoon kickoffs. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants in Dallas. Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper listed as questionable. For Zeke, it's knee, some soreness. He's fully expected to play. Amari Cooper's got a hamstring. He already had the ribs. He's fully expected to play, but you're going to have to watch, and you're going to have fallback plans in place since it is a late afternoon kickoff. My guess is both play. On the other side of the ball, Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard ruled out for this game already, so that kind of clears the path. Maybe more Kadarius Toney this week. Kenny Golladay, Saquon Barkley off the injury report. So everyone there is good to go. Not named Slayton and Shepard. Oh, Caden Smith, the tight end. Not good to go. San Francisco 49ers at Arizona. Trey Lance season is upon us, people. Jimmy Garoppolo ruled out with the calf injury. Trey Lance will make the start. We'll see if he can hold on to the starting job for good, right? Came in last week after Garoppolo was hurt and fared pretty well fantasy-wise, right? Put up some, I think, nearly 20 points and a half. Had a good connection with Deebo Samuel on a big play. Runs the ball well, so plenty to like there, especially with a week of preparation and some Kyle Shanahan game planning to take advantage of his skills. Might not, almost certainly won't have George Kittle, who's listed as doubtful. Doubtful people rarely play. If one ever would, it would probably be Kittle, but I wouldn't count on it. He did less in practice this week than he did last week. Same injury. Russ Dwelly would move up in the rotation if Kittle can't go. Elijah Mitchell off the injury report, so he'll work back into the mix with Trey Sermon, who played reasonably well last week. So hard to predict how that rotation will go. I would guess we'll see both of them, though. Mitchell was a starter until he got hurt. Maybe Sermon did enough last week to hold on to a significant role. We'll have to see. On the other side of the ball, Chase Edmunds and Max Williams both have shoulder injuries. Both are questionable. Edmunds seems dicey, man. He didn't practice much. He got on the field Friday, didn't do much, but he'll have a chance to play. It's been heavily targeted this year. I have concerns this week. It's a great matchup, though, for Arizona's offense. And Max Williams, obviously, been playing reasonably well, too. He seems a little safer, but both questionable. You'll need fallback plans if you're going to play him. David Montgomery, of course, out for the Chicago Bears. Damian Williams will get the start. Also starting, Justin Fields now going forward. He is the new starter at quarterback. Andy Dalton, healthy or not, is number 2. We'll see if he's number 2 this week, but he seems like he practiced fully, so, and he's off the injury report, so I'm guessing he will be. But Justin Fields is your starter there. Las Vegas has a great pass rush. Bears have lousy tackles. We'll see how this works out. Maybe Allen Robinson can get on track at some point. So far, Darnell Mooney's been outperforming him, though, and it's very sad for me as an investor. I hope not for you. Peyton Barber listed as questionable with a toe injury. Josh Jacobs is off the injury report, so it doesn't seem like Barber would have a big role anyway. The LA Chargers hosting the Cleveland Browns. Justin Jackson listed as doubtful for this game, so probably not going to play. Larry Roundtree had kind of taken on the primary role, right? So I don't know that really, or primary role behind Austin Eckler. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Austin Eckler has the primary role. But Larry Roundtree's been getting more of the work. Maybe Joshua Kelly's active this week. I don't know if that matters much, though. You're probably not playing any of those underliers. David Njoku, part of a 3-headed monster at tight end for the Cleveland Browns. He's been listed as questionable for this game with a knee issue. I'm just now looking, Jedrick Willis, the tackle, has been downgraded out. Myles Garrett also questionable in that game. Seems like he will play. Sunday night, everyone's good to go. The Chiefs and Bills. Woo. Josh Gordon should make his Chiefs debut in that one. Monday Night Football, Nyheim Hines is the only skilled player on the injury report. We'll get that injury designation in later Saturday. Check the injury report for that. Look for a late-breaking update. I'll have some more on that as we go along. So there you have it. Once again, hit the website. Tons of information up there for you now, including Casey Joyner's early injury report and start-sit. He'll do an update of that. That one digs a little deeper than this, gets into the various pieces of the defense and the offensive line, all those kind of good things. Tons of DFS content up there from myself, John Love, the Scholar Sheet of DraftKings Knowledge. Jamie Calandro has his DFS GPP stacks and his DraftKings cash plays. Justin Lanero's digging into crates. Gary Davenport, in addition to his IDP cheat sheet, you'll find the Shadow Knows, his shadow coverage report. Tons of stuff from earlier in the week as well on waiver wires if you need to go back and revisit that. And Reginald James has the Commish HQ piece. Brad Cruz with Stardom Siddham's great high stakes player. So check everything out. Check me out on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. If you're listening this Saturday afternoon, I'm on Saturday night on the Fantasy Channel from 5 to 7. And again on NFL Radio from 8 to 11, Football Diehards. You might be familiar with that name. That's the name of the show as well. And also Sunday morning, I'll do the pregame show with Jeff Mans. We'll have a pregame video with Jamie Calandro and Jason Brady in to get your final DFS lineups. Use the DFS lineup optimizer. All our stats, red zone stats, target stats, DFS ownership percentages available as well. So make use of all of that and have a great game this weekend. Get a big win. We'll talk to you next week. Buy start next week. Let's start being proactive, people.